Okay, so welcome to, this is our week 5, module 5 group coaching call. And we are going to focus on goal setting. So that was what you all were working on this past week, hopefully. And so I'd like to really just dig in there with how that was for you. What, was it an easy process? Was it difficult? What came up for you? Were you able to choose goals that felt powerful and aligned, or do you need help? So that's what today's about. And then we can also review anything else, any of the previous modules. If there's anything there outstanding, we can go into that. And what I'd like is that we begin to see the connection, the interrelatedness of all of the modules and how they work together, right? And so hopefully in this module, you're really looking at setting goals that are aligned with the things that you've discovered about yourself to this point, right? So let's start with you, Anna, and where are you and how was it for you?
So I'm a little behind, so I'm not on top of it like I usually am. I redid the visioning of 20 years from now. And I was wrapped up with all this writing stuff this weekend, and that's when I usually like to work on the module. So I did listen to the intro audio about how we're going to use SMART goals to set our goals, and I think focus on 3 areas from the wheel, right?
Let me just ask you, you said you redid the visioning, the 20-year visioning, so how was that for you?
So it was a little different, but not too different from the first time. Okay. What I noticed was I think the first time I was really trying to dream big, like, oh, I'm at my most successful, famous, having the good life. And I think I dreamed really big, but I was like really thinking about what sounds good or feels good in terms of sounding really successful. And this time around, I think I focus more on what makes me happy and focusing more on the fun and the relaxation and really enjoying what I have and what I'm doing. And so I think I while I was doing it this time, I really sunk in more into the joy of it. And so that was really nice. Yeah. But then, so I was like, oh yeah, I did it better this time, right? But then I reread what I did last time, and I thought, oh, I was much more detailed, and that sounds better than what I wrote this time. So I don't know, I have this judgment thing about what looks good and sounds good, I guess.
So the cool thing is that you get to create whatever you want it to be. So you can take the best of both of your visualizations.
Oh, awesome.
Bring them together and make a new vision for yourself. So that kind of visioning creative process just kind of helps you to really focus and feel and get into that space, right?
Yeah.
Like, the vision you're creating is yours to create, and you can recreate, and you can just imagine it in your mind, or you can write it on paper, and you can do whatever you want with it. And you can draw a picture or make a painting of it. And that, I love that in the second one, you can feeling and how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And you focused on your value of fun and joy, right? Mm-hmm. And so beautiful, because the first time, that would have been missing if you stopped there, right? And so by you going back and doing it again, you got to bring in the feeling, which is more important than anything, I think.
Oh, okay.
Is how you feel. And so so the what, to be able to think about the what am I doing, and what have I accomplished, and where am I, and all that. It's good to be able to picture that. But in the module 5 with the goal setting, that's where we get more specific with the how, right? And okay, what am I going to focus on? And if I take this image, you know, this visual of me in this place and having a good time and feeling good and feeling accomplished, what will it take to get there, right? Like, what is going to make that a reality? Is it like, so this is where things start getting more concrete, right? Like with goal setting, and you start thinking like, ooh, well, I would really love to write a book, and, you know, and that would make me feel really happy and joyful and on purpose. And so, you know, so maybe that's a goal that I want to set in the next 1 to 3 years, right? Or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's where we begin to go, okay, I have the feeling, you know, I know what it looks like, I know what it feels like, but then people often get lost, they get caught up in the how, right? Like, how do I get there? How do I do that, right? So the visioning part was just to not to get you into the how. It is to get you more into that dream-like state, right? And you said that you did, the first time you were like thinking big and, you know, going for it and all of that, right? So yay, because I wanted you to do that too.
Right.
So I think they were both really important. It was important for you to do this twice. And I wonder if you did it again, you know, if you might get something new from it, right? And that's what's kind of cool, is that you can take the things that remain consistent throughout.
Right. Yeah.
And then look at, okay, what are the new things that I'm adding in, right? Like, what are the things that I didn't get before that I'm getting now? Because that is a full consciousness of like the things that remain true, constant, right, are probably not going to change. Like, that's part of your vision that's not going to change.
Right.
And then looking at, oh man, I was missing that joy piece or that fun piece. And that came in really strong for me. And that might also be an indication of where you are now at this moment in your life and what you're really craving to have, right? So I love that. I love being able to identify the values that are present in your vision. So like when you're seeing yourself and you're picturing, you know, who's there with you, the people that are there with you, and what you're doing and what you've accomplished, like that's all indicative of your values, right? Okay. So to go back and be able to name like, oh, here's the values that were really present for me in my future vision. And then even in your shorter term vision, like which ones are there for you now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even though I haven't done the goal setting, I think some of it came up while I was doing this. So, for example, as I was brainstorming ways I want to have fun and recreation, I was remembering all these things that Tuna and I used to do for fun and recreation before we both got caught up in just working all the time. I was like, oh yeah, you know, we used to go on hikes and like go take little weekend trips, or just decide to go to a play or a show, or take the dog out to the beach or go on hikes and stuff. And we haven't done like hardly any of that stuff. So I was like, that's a goal. Like I want to like have us have a social life. Like, yeah.
Right. So, yeah. And so for this module, for the goal setting, you know, I really want you to look at, people can get overwhelmed, right? Like if there's all these different areas and, you know, you're going to be looking at the wheel of life and your health and your finances and your physical environment, your relationships and your personal growth, you know, like all of the different areas. And I do want you to focus on each area and what you want. And I actually have a program for that that goes deeper into that after this, where we really look at each area and getting really like digging in and going deep with the goals and getting specific, you know. But for the purposes of this, I don't necessarily want you to do that, because I want you to get clear about how to do powerful goal setting, right? Like I want you to get clear about all the components that are involved in powerful goal setting and go through the process of that and choose 3 things, 3 areas that you want to focus on, not all, you know, just choose 3 and then set your goals in those 3 areas. And they could and they likely will be the things that you're most compelled to right now, right? And it doesn't mean that like even a month from now that, or even, you know, a few weeks from now or whatever, like anytime your priorities can change, something can shift in your life, right? And even by focusing on one area right now, it could shift your priority because that area no longer needs your attention like it did before. And so then your attention might focus into something else, right? And you might discover something else you're requiring or wanting. And so just starting with what's present for you right now and the goals that feel most compelling to you and that feel most alive for you, and where you do get that joy and that excitement and that like good feeling, right? Like that's where I want you to focus, because it does us no good to set goals that we really don't feel passionate about, that we really aren't aligned with, that we think we should be doing, right? And then we're like, I really don't want to be doing that. Or, you know, and then we start judging ourselves for not doing it and feel bad about ourselves and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So this is just an opportunity to say, okay, like what are the goals that would be most meaningful to me, that would bring me the most joy, that would move the needle most for me in my life? Like maybe if there's an area that, you know, you've really been wanting to focus on, but you've been putting it off. And you know that if you focused on that thing, it would open up the door for everything else, right? Like, for instance, if, let's say, health, okay? If your health, like, you know, you haven't been feeling well and you know you've been wanting to focus on your health, right, and you just haven't had energy, you know, to do these other things, right? Let's say you set some goals around your health and you start feeling better and you have more energy, then you're more equipped to accomplish the other goals that you have for yourself, right? Like you can work more in your business, you can, you know, you have more energy to go on hiking dates, you know, you can whatever, right? Like all other things will be fulfilled. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So other things will be fulfilled based on you meeting that goal in that particular area. And likewise, it could be something like, let's say personal, like physical environment would be like your personal space. So it would be your home, where you live, the car you drive, things like that, right? And so let's say you've got all this clutter, and the clutter is taking your energy, like literally, you feel drained by it. And you know it doesn't feel good and you want to get rid of the clutter, but you are so not motivated to do that, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say you make a goal to, you know, clear the clutter, and you create a plan for that, right? And you enroll the help of friends, or you make a dance party out of it, or, you know, you drink wine and whatever that makes it fun. And, you know, you get to clear the clutter, and then guess what? Like now you cleared this space physically and energetically so that you can bring more into your life. And so now that by just doing that one thing, focusing on that goal, it, like, you feel lighter, you feel happier, you feel more accomplished, you are able to now like get more business, bring more clients in, right? Because now you have this space to bring in more, right? And it's more of what you want. Right. So do you see how like everything is connected and related? And I want you to focus on, for you, because this will be different for everybody, right? This is going to be different for everybody. But for you, what is it in your life that if you focused on it, it would make the greatest difference for other areas of your life? Mm-hmm. And what would bring you the greatest joy? Mm-hmm. You know? So that's, you know, so do you have any questions about, I know you haven't gone very far in looking at module 5, but is there anything?
Yeah, just to get your thoughts, because what you just shared, it's kind of assessing each area of my life and where I think like it would have the most impact to make a shift there. Yeah. What I was originally thinking, which was looking at my numbers on the wheel when I first did it and pick the 3 lowest areas and say, oh, those definitely need a boost. And maybe it would be those 3, but that it's not necessarily based on the numbers where they're at now, but
that would be
a move to work on.
It would be interesting to see, like, as you rate them. Do you already have those 3 areas?
Yeah. The 3 lowest areas were family and friends was a 4, fun and recreation was a 4, and health was a 5.
And health. Okay.
I mean, those would all be good things.
Okay, so out of those things, which is there any of them that you're just like, that does not feel good? Like, I don't really want to focus on that one.
Well, I know there's some procrastination and there's the need to get over that initial inertia of getting back into exercising again.
Mm-hmm.
And for at least a month.
Uh-huh.
So there's a little bit like that's a should more than a even though I definitely value that and want to get there.
Yep.
But I'm aware of like that takes some breakthrough for me.
Okay.
And I mean, family and friends, it's similar. I've been so out of touch and disconnected. Like I want to be more connected. So it's getting through that. Okay, just like reach out and get more connected, and it's not going to be hard, but it's just like getting out of my habit. I think that's it. Like fun and recreation, of course, that's fun to think about and do. So,
Okay. So this is good because, you've got one that's exciting, right? The fun and recreation's like, ooh, yeah. Like I like thinking about that. And it'll be fun to create goals around that. And then the family and friends feels like it's a want, right? Like not a should, but a want for you. And you also said it's going to take work, right? So is that something you're willing to put time and effort and energy into?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the health feels like it, like, yes, you want to be healthy, but it also feels like a should, like you should be focusing on that. And there's not as much excitement or good energy around that. Right.
Right.
So there may be, so even with the family and friends, and then especially with the health, there may be some perspective work that you can do that'll help shift you into a mindset of I want rather than I should.
Right.
And even with the family friends that I want, you use the word work, and I don't know if there's like a negative connotation with that word for you or not. Work could be, I mean, some people are like work, like some people are like, oh, it's gonna be work, and other people are like, yeah, it's gonna take work, but work is just something you do. It's not necessarily good or bad, right? So it just sort of depends on how you view that, right?
Right.
How do you view that?
I think closer to the first one, like, oh, like it's not, like it's not connected with fun necessarily, but not too much there. It's a little bit of mix of both. Like it's like, oh, it's just what I need to do, but it's like got a little bit of the work sense to it. It's like, oh, I need to find the time and I need to actually like commit and plan to get it done. It's not just going to happen on its own.
So. Right. So what's the payoff for you for putting in the work?
Well, that sense of connection and feeling like a good friend and family member that's not like out of touch. So,
is there a should in that? I heard maybe there's a should in that.
There is a should in that. There is a bit because I feel like as a better friend, I'd be connected more to my friends and even to my family. I don't feel as connected as I want to be to my family. But with family, there's definitely a want there too. And even with friends, but it just, I think I am also comfortable in my introverted, on my own type of space too. So like that's a comfort zone for me to just keeping to myself.
So what's in it for you? Like what's the benefit or advantage, of like connecting more with your family and your friends?
Um, well, the times that I have felt connected to them, I felt happy and like, oh, there's that um, relationship that I'm glad that we have, and I'm glad that we're spending this time together, or um, that I'm showing that I care. So there's a feel good about that. And then there's still the should part. It's like, well, when I don't connect with them or I don't feel as connected, I feel like, oh, they're probably wondering like why I'm not calling, or wondering why I'm not visiting, and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of stuff.
So what's the judgment or the belief that you have about your role as a friend or family member?
Yeah, no, good question. Yeah, because I feel like it's up to me. Because, I mean, interestingly, they're not reaching out to me either. That's why there's a disconnect. So, yeah, I definitely feel like it's my role. If I don't do anything, then we're not going to be in communication. So, I need to be the one that reaches out and makes it happen.
So no wonder why you feel like it's work, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and what does that do for you? Feeling like you have to be the one to always maintain the connection. How does that
Um, I mean, to be honest, it makes me a little sad. And um, and feeling alone, even though I know like I have this family out there, friends out there, like um, the absence of that communication and all of that. It's like, oh well, but basically I'm alone. So,
feel?
um, but what's interesting is like there have been a couple times. One was when I posted on Facebook to ask for the feedback about 3 words to describe me. And
Mm-hmm.
there was another time I just posted a day of Thanksgiving for my friends. And like both posts got all these like wonderful, loving comments from my friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a like sweet thing for them to say. And wow, I really like didn't know that they thought that way about me or something. So there is this contrast for me. Like when the few times I have that, I'm like, wow, that's so nice. Like I'd like more of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's rare, it's like, oh, well, other people are like spending holidays with family or doing stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not. So.
Yeah. What's the suppressed value there? There's a suppressed value.
I mean, I don't know what else to call it besides connection or relationship, um, except that I think what touches me when it's expressed is, I don't know, love, basically, like they, uh, or some sort of appreciation.
Yeah. What does love mean to you? What does that look like? Or
Um, well, it's the fond or the positive thoughts associated with the person. It's the emotional connection and being touched by someone. It's that gratitude of that precious relationship with the person. Yeah.
And can you think of people in your mind right now that you would really want to nurture this with, that you really want to nurture that emotional connection, the gratitude, the thoughts, these like warm, I say warm, you didn't say that, but
Yeah. Yes, that fits.
Person. Can you think of people in your mind that you want that with more in your family or friend circle?
Yeah. With family, I think about my aunt in Colombia, who I usually just have seen over the holidays the last 3 years, but we're not going to Colombia this year. We're going to Thailand. So I think I tried. I thought before, like, oh, I can FaceTime with them and I can see her and talk to her. But I think one time I did the Facebook call, but she didn't see me, but she had trouble hearing me. She's older. So I was like, oh, this is tough. Like, it's tough to do that. But she's someone I really definitely, because she's older and she's like, she looks like the twin of my mom, and she's just so special to me. And so I really want to nurture that. And then I really want to be more connected to my brother and sister, even though we don't talk that much. And I have these friends all around the country that do similar work to me as I do. That we just, comment on each other's things once in a while. But I'd love to visit with them. One of the things that came up both times in my visioning of the 20 years was I started having this annual summer retreat get together that's just for me and all my circle of friends that do similar work, and we come and we share ideas, but we're just really just bonding and connecting with each other. And so I was like, that sounds fun and great, and I think we'd all like that. So I was like, I want to start having my I forget what I called it the first time, but
that's cool. I could see actually you guys rotating it and meeting in a different country each year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, actually I didn't think of that. We used to do that when we did this longitudinal study together. It was originally started by a couple of faculty, one retired faculty at Michigan, but she knew this whole circle of people who had been connected through the dialogue program and then spread it all over the country. And she's like, hey, I want to have us all come together and do a study, but study it at all of our different campuses, which is what we ended up. We had 10 campuses in the study. Over 3 years, we did study them. But over those 3 years, plus the 3 years before planning it, we rotated going to each campus to have planning meetings, to see the campus and hang out with each other. And we did that every 6 months, and it was so fun.
I could see your face. Just
that was really special.
Yeah. So, okay. So that answers my next question, because I was going to say, what would bring more of these warm feelings in and this emotional connection and, all of that in with these people you've identified, your aunt, your brother, your sister, and your circle of friends that do similar work with you, right? So I think that is one potential thing you could do, right? That would bring your friends together in a way that would just fill you up. That would be fun, and it would be connecting, and right. So why not, why not make that one of your goals under your friends and family area?
Yeah.
Start the first one, the first annual gathering, retreat, whatever you want to call it, and do it wherever you want to do it. And then, why not?
Right. You say, hey, let's all book hotel rooms together or something. I don't know, or Airbnb.
Yeah, get a group rate, group discount. and go somewhere cool and hang out and have a good time.
Right, right. Yeah.
Right. So now when you think about that, does that excite you? Does that feel like something you want to do rather than a should?
Yeah, when I visualize it, it's all fun and rewarding because it's like a reunion. But I could also see myself just for a second there think like, oh, find a group rate at a hotel. Like, oh, am I planning like a conference? And is it gonna like have to have more to it than just we get together and connect? So then it would feel like work. But I think for the most part, it feels like fun.
So what could you do to have it stay fun and have it stay in the playful state rather than the work state, right? Like this is more work. Um, Immediately what comes to my mind is like have a brainstorming session with your group of people that you've identified, say, hey, you guys, I have this idea I want to run by you.
Yeah.
And just see. And maybe somebody will want to take on some of the planning of it, right? Like that it won't fall on your shoulders. Like you get to be the idea person and the generator and the starter, but maybe somebody else in the group is a planner, and
right. Yeah. No, good point. Yeah.
Okay, so this is just good to know and good learning for anybody else who is listening to the replay of this, is to really stay in the possibility, stay in the values place, stay in the joy of your vision and of your goals. And then whatever roadblocks or barriers come up, whether they're internal or external, right? Like a lot of times it's internal. It's like our mind that stops us. It goes somewhere. And, sometimes it's external. It really has to do with like money or time or other people or, whatever. But whatever it is, like notice what it is that comes up for you. And then how do you navigate that so you can stay in your joy, right? Like stay in the joy place. And then whatever perceived or real barriers come up, you just ask yourself, okay, how can this continue to be easy? How can this continue to be joyful? How can this continue to be playful, right? Like whatever values you're honoring, like how do you continue to honor those values as you start to move into some potential roadblocks and barriers, right? So it's just a way of creatively looking at what resources you have available to you, right? Because we all have them. So, hi, Kat. So, let's see. Okay, so going back to what did you get out of this conversation, Yana? Like, let's go back and just look at kind of where we started with goal setting, identifying your 3 low areas, talking about looking at like the joy and all of that, right? And then looking at the potential, like the shoulds versus the wants, and how you address that or how you could set goals based on these things, or do you even want to choose those, because you always have the right to say, no, that's not really what I want to focus on right now. That's not going to bring me the greatest return. So where are you after we've kind of gone down this path a little?
Well, the biggest things I think I got out of the call so far is to keep my focus on what would bring joy to either that area or in my working towards what I'm going to do to work towards a goal in that area. So, for example, the annual get together, like that sounds fun, but that it could easily become work. So thinking about how to stay in the playful, fun state, I think is really helpful. You mentioned as an example, which is interesting, the oh, say I clear the clutter in my life, and then, it creates space for more to come, even in my business, or um, opens up that energy in doing that. I actually have had this as a big goal to work on that, because I just finished over Thanksgiving a book that was recommended a while ago, but I finally had time to read it, called I think it's called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It's a small book by, have you heard of it?
Yeah.
And so I read it and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And so I've been wanting to make time for it. And it's funny because the physical environment actually rated high in my wheel, but it's because I love my home. I love my neighborhood. I have, like, my physical spaces are nice,
Mm-hmm.
but I do have clutter, like, in my home and in my office.
Yeah.
And particularly my office is just draining me. So I could see, like, how addressing that, even though it's not like one of the key areas and all of that, like, there's this energy drawing me to, like, I need to clear this for myself.
Yeah. And, like, once you clear that, what's the intention that you're setting for yourself? Like, what do you want to call in, right? And so to be very intentional about, clearing the space and then calling in what you want. And, with your decision to do the consulting and, really building from there, you can intentionally call in clients and collaborators and, money and all of these things that, you're making room for physically and energetically.
Sorry.
By clearing out.
We're all okay. Yeah.
So, but by clearing out the clutter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a good exercise for you. And, as you'll see, there's like short-term goals and longer-term goals, right? And so, if, let's just stay with the example of the clutter, right? Let's say that somebody has, their whole house, their whole office, like everything is just clutter, right? And oftentimes clutter can be very emotional. There can be an emotional attachment to the stuff, the meaning of the stuff. And so that could feel like a really, really big, huge, like long-term goal for somebody, because they're going to have to break it down. They're going to have to go step by step, and through this process of releasing. And so, and it could be that, somebody like yourself, for instance, might be like, okay, I love my space, I love everything, but my office is just kind of cluttered. And if I decluttered my office, I'd feel great. And that might feel like a shorter term project where, in the next 30 days, you could have your clutter cleared out of your office and then move on to the next thing, right?
Right.
So as you're thinking about your goals, I want you to really look at, okay, like if I'm setting a goal that's 90 days or more, that's going to be further out, that I really need to break that down into doable, actionable steps so that I know exactly what I'm focusing on. I have my milestones and markers so that I know I'm making progress toward that goal. So like, let's say you want to write a book, for instance, and that's your goal. And your goal is, so this is my goal. In 2018, I'm going to write my book. Yeah. And so, now what I have to do is I have to go, okay, there's a lot of steps involved with writing a book, and it's going to take time. And so I need to really break it down into actionable steps and set aside the time over the next year to get it done. So I want you guys to be thinking about that in terms of your longer term goals, in terms of breaking them down and setting milestones for yourself so that you know you're on track to reach your ultimate goal. And if it's a shorter term goal, if it's something you can do in the next week, or the next month even, do it. And then you can set another goal. So it's not like, for this module, I'm saying like pick 3 goals. But if you pick a couple goals that are like short term that you could do pretty quickly, then pick some more, that you can continue to do.
Okay.
So once you go through the module, Anna, post in the group and let us know what goals you're choosing to focus on. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Kat, are you there? Kat. There you are. Hi.
How are you guys?
Good.
Oh, look, I'm a hot mess. I have been sick, and sorry, I'm a disaster.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've been sick, and I just got back to Maine, and sure enough, super sick. So yeah, I'm just trying to get. Sorry, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all human. We're human.
Where should I, like, I'm really out of touch, so where should I just jump in, Justine?
Okay, so where are you in the process right now? Like where are you? What have you done?
I mean, I was out of touch all last week while I was traveling in California, and I had stuff going on, and I haven't, so I don't remember what module I'm on. I think my rainbow thing was the last thing I really was, I really did. So
Okay.
I just have to step after that.
Okay, so you did life purpose, and then 4 is visioning, and then 5 is what we're on right now, which is goal setting. So
Okay. So I didn't do any of the visioning.
okay. So what I want you to do, so how did you do with your life purpose statement? Do you feel like you landed on it, or where are you with that right now?
Yeah, no, I think I landed on it. I was really pleased with where that ended.
Okay.
Or what I finished up with. So, and I think I don't remember if I posted in the group or not.
Yeah, would you post it for us?
Okay.
Take a chance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I know, and Anna, did you ever complete your life purpose statement? Did you land on your final version of that?
Yes.
You did? I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I posted the final one.
Okay, that's
maybe I had 2 final ones.
yeah.
And I think you liked one.
Okay, so will you also post yours in the group on the page?
Sure.
I'd love to. I know Lauren landed on hers on our last call, and then I'd love for, and I knew you guys were like super close. You and Kat were super close to yours, so I want those to kind of get finalized and shared, and then okay, so Kat, basically, where you are now is listen to module 4, which is the visioning module, and work on that before you go to 5, because you'll do visioning, and then after that we'll do goal setting. Okay, and then you can come back and kind of listen to this, what you missed of this call.
I did listen to the number 4, but I don't remember.
Okay, that would have been the visioning module. So
okay,
you look at like your life 20 years from now, and then you look at like your 1 to 3 year vision, and you're looking at the wheel of life.
Okay, I'll go look at it again.
Okay. So yeah, just spend some time with that. Get clear about your vision, and then what we're doing is in this module with goal setting, you're going to really take like what you've uncovered from the previous modules, right? So you're looking at what are my values, what are my strengths, what is my vision, what is my purpose, and then what goals do I want to set for myself around that. And you're just going to choose 3 goals. Like you're going to use the wheel of life to identify the areas that you want to focus on. But for the purposes of this, you're just going to choose 3 areas, and then set yourself 3 goals, right? And and then break those down. And module 5 will walk you through that process of how to choose.
So,
yeah.
3 goals per 3 areas, or
No, just
just 3?
Just 1 from each area.
1 from each area. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, you'll see when you go through it. It'll walk you, like the PDFs will walk you through like how to choose, how to identify your goals, and then how to break them down.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so just play a little bit of catch up. And at least if you can get the visioning module done, and then once you complete that, you can go into the goal setting. And then the next module that I'm going to be sending out tomorrow to you guys is self-care. So I think you need that one today, Kat.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How timely. So yeah, the self-care really is like, you know, we need a foundation. We need to really be nurturing and pouring into ourselves so that we can fulfill on our purpose, so that we can be powerful entrepreneurs, that we can be powerful change makers, that we can really make a difference with our gifts and our talents, when we're really giving to ourselves first, right? We have to do that. And oftentimes we neglect to do that for ourselves because we're always giving to everybody else. And so module 6 is really going to focus on self-care and kind of like setting your foundation and your self-care regimen. So, okay, so what I want to do now is I'll just open it up. And if you guys have any questions or anything you want to focus on in this time that we have together, go. So is there anything you want to cover or have questions about?
I mean, I'm just trying to get back on track, really.
Yeah.
For myself personally.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying. I got to transition back because I'm going to California next week, I think, around the 12th. So yay! So excited. So yeah.
Yeah. So you need to get well. You need to get well.
Oh, I'll probably get well once I got off the plane like this last time. I was like brand new when I got home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got off the plane and I literally like threw all my layers off. Like it was so hot. It was amazing. I got back here and now I'm sick. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I'm just trying to catch up, and then I kind of feel like I really need to start planning 2018 already.
Yeah.
You know, like I kind of feel like I should be already strategizing ahead and not so, you know.
Yeah. You know,
I don't know.
in MPMC we're going to be doing in January. It won't be till January though. Next month we're going to do the quarterly planning session. So make sure you get that on your calendar.
Oh yeah, I missed the last one.
Yeah. So we're going to do another one. So just I think it's January. I want to say it's January 9th, but check the schedule in our files page of our group, and you'll see all the dates on there. Everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. It's I just need to get organized. I have a lot, and I don't have any staff. I have very little staff right now, so I'm kind of doing way too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, why don't you just use this time to nurture and take care of yourself, and to get caught up on the modules, because that's not going to be like a strenuous thing. You can just kind of listen and write and whatever, and get caught up on that. And then the goal setting part will be good for you, because then you can pick out like 3 things that are really important, or that you want to move the needle on, and then just break those down, you know, and you can take action on those. And then, yeah, and then you'll be back out here before we know it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
That's good.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you popped in and said hello.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll text you after this so we can pick the date for the meetup, okay?
Yay. Okay.
Yay.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Anna, did you have anything else you wanted to cover in this time?
Well, I was thinking I'd share like the evolution of my life purpose statement.
Okay.
So just to take us back, it had gone from I am the loving energy that opens the doors for people to experience unconditional love, to I am the loving energy that heals and unlocks the doors of the heart and mind. And then we were talking about this unconditional love that people get to experience. So then the thing that I landed on is I am the angel of compassion who brings peace and unconditional love.
Say it again.
I am the angel of compassion who brings peace and unconditional love.
How does that feel?
Compassion feels like it's a big word, but it feels good.
Feels like a what word?
Big word.
Big word.
Or heavy, I don't know.
In what way?
Just that it, you know, it adds extra syllables. So I guess I wasn't sure if I could have the metaphor have this compound thing in it.
You're so funny. Technical here.
Right.
So, okay.
This way, or does it have to be like I am the thing that does this?
You're the angel.
Yeah. So I think one version I had, I am the angel that brings peace and unconditional love. But then I added, I am the angel of compassion who brings peace and unconditional love. But it could just be, I am the angel who brings peace and unconditional love.
What is the word, what are you, feels like you're like shrinking from the word compassion. What is that about?
Like I said, I don't know if it's allowed.
Of course it's allowed. It's your life purpose statement. You get to make the rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to like not read it. I want you to say it to us, like embody it.
Okay. I am the angel of compassion who brings love and unconditional. Oh, I said love twice.
Okay.
Okay. I am the angel of compassion who brings peace and unconditional love.
Okay, I'm trying to get a good look on you here because you're saying like crazy. But okay, again.
I am the angel of compassion who brings peace and unconditional love.
How does that feel?
It feels good. No, still not there. Okay.
You're like, it feels good. But it's not like, yes, that's it. Okay. So is it that you're holding back?
Possibly.
Or is the language not right?
Yeah, maybe it just feels too blah right now. I think it felt good when I wrote it, but yeah.
What feels blah?
I guess it feels like general and big, like, oh, I bring peace and unconditional love. Like those are great, wonderful things, but when I say them, it feels blank. It's like it doesn't feel like it's touching on something. Yeah.
What's missing?
I don't know, some energy, some light, some spark or something. Yeah.
Like literally? Like
literally. Like, yeah.
a light, a spark?
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the metaphors I had as a slash to angel at first. I said, I am the light that brings peace and unconditional love.
How does that one feel?
That feels better.
Feels better?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it still feels like it needs a verb in it that's more than brings. Like it's bringing it to life somehow. But
so what parts about this really like speak to you? What are the parts that really resonate?
I think light and love.
Okay, you're thinking too hard. So what I want you to do, I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is close your eyes. And I want you to put your hand on your heart. And I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to connect with the part of you that is light, that is compassion, that is love, that is peace. And then I want you to share from that place whatever comes to you. I am, and just let it flow.
I am the light that shines with love and compassion.
How did that feel?
Good.
Huh?
Yeah, good.
Really good?
Yeah, really good.
Again, I want you to say it again.
Okay. I am the light that shines with love and compassion. Is that an impact statement?
You impacted me.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that feel like yes? Like right now, this energy that you're in right now, this is a yes. This is the yes energy. Like you're feeling it.
Yeah, like whatever came up, like that felt like that's what it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got the chills. Like it's a yes.
Yeah.
It's a yes.
Put it down then.
Okay.
I am the light that shines love and compassion. I think that's what I said.
Period. The end. Like huge, right? Like that is freaking huge. Lord knows the world needs more love and compassion, right? And more light. And you are that light. So you've got a big job to do, lady.
Okay.
Now, the good news is that by being who you are, like you're already changing the world. You're already changing people, right? Like just by being that light of love and compassion, bringing that to the space, you already are making a difference. So I want you to be clear about that. Okay. And yeah. And now you get to create through your business, through your life's work, right? Through your purpose, you get to create the full expression of that and make a really big impact. Okay. Is that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So that's it. Woohoo! Like you got it. And that's where you get to play from. That's where you get to create from.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I tend to overthink a lot. So.
Yeah, if you spot it, you got it. So I can relate. So that's your purpose statement. Please post it in the group.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you brought that up again, because like you wouldn't have gotten there if you hadn't have brought that up, right? Like that. So I'm glad you even though you felt like you knew you were there, or you were kind of there, there was still that something that wasn't quite right there, right? So I'm glad you brought that. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yay, that's that moment, you guys, that I live for. It's like somebody to see somebody come alive in the truth of who you are is like, okay, job's done. Bye, guys.
Justine out. Justine out.
Right? So, but this is what I love. I love it. So thank you for allowing me to share in that with you guys.
Okay, sure.
Yes. Okay, so I think we can wrap up for today, for now, and go ahead and take this time that we have, the extra, 25 minutes to go work on your module, right? Keep it moving forward. You guys are doing great. I am excited to see how this all comes together for you. We have 3 more calls. So we'll have our module 6, 7, and then we'll have our wrap-up call. So 3 more calls. Keep going. Keep showing up for yourselves, doing the work, and let's get some amazing results by the end of this program, okay?
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Hey, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon. Anna, we have a call, so I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Hope you feel
All right.
Bye.
Bye.